The ROG Swift line of monitors from ASUS are some of the best monitors out on the market, whether it be the PG248Q ultrawide, PG248Q, or any of the others. Up at bat today for review is the PG248Q from ASUS South Africa. Let's see what this 24-inch gaming monitor has to offer. First, a physical tour of the PG248Q. This 24-inch monitor boasts a design scheme that's incredibly similar to ASUS's other ROG Swift panels, with the standard base that features the light in motion red LED setup, which then gives way to a swivel, tilt, and height adjustable stand. I do have to pause here for a moment and express some disappointment in the base of this monitor. The feet on the bottom that are meant to adhere to your desk don't actually fulfill that purpose on the PG248Q, with the monitor flopping about my desk whenever I attempted to swivel the display. Getting back to the final part of the stand, there's a cutout to allow for your cable management. Input-wise, there's a DisplayPort 1.2 port, HDMI 1.4 port, as well as a USB 3.0 in, which then splits into dual USB 3.0 outputs. Also on this back section, you'll find the power input, headphone out, and the service port. The menu layout on the PG248Q is incredibly similar to other ROG Swifts, with the 5-way navigation joystick on the back to simply navigate through all of the menu options. Those options include overclocking the panel from its standard 144 Hz capacity to 160, 170, and 180 Hz. Then there's the included blue light filter options, image overdrive settings, adaptive contrast control, and dark boost to help get a better image display on the monitor. ASUS also includes their Game Plus and Game Visual menus, which allow you to set things such as crosshairs or FPS counters, as well as change the color profile of the monitor based on what you're using the display for. Now getting to the actual meat and potatoes of the PG248Q. The display. It's a 16:9 24-inch 1080p TN panel with the aforementioned ability of hitting up to a 180 Hz refresh rate. This all comes with a 1 millisecond gray-to-gray response time as well. Now in my review of the 200 Hz Acer Predator Z35, I criticized the need for a greater refresh rate above 144 Hz for a general consumer product. The amount of actual visual difference for most users between 144 and 180 Hz just isn't large enough to recommend going for a 180 over 144, so my criticism of such things won't change here. However, I will note that the one thing that the PG248Q has going for it over, say, the 278Q or the 34.8Q is that a high-end graphics card is actually able to drive games to its max potential at the 1080p resolution. Take, for instance, Overwatch, which can average well over 180 FPS at 1080p on epic settings on a GTX 1080. The fact that the PG248Q has a realistically achievable max setting makes it a much more compelling argument for me over some of its older cousins. The variable refresh rate of G-Sync implemented on the panel made sure that even when gaming with everything cranked up to its highest frame rate, the entire experience was buttery smooth. ASUS has definitely realized and implemented that G-Sync or other variable refresh rate technologies are a must these days for high-end monitors. The TN panel doesn't provide the color reproduction that I was used to on some of the other monitors from ASUS, and images always looked a little washed out. However, this monitor likely isn't being purchased by those who do color correction for a living. Overall, the PG248Q has all of the quality and features that I've come to expect in a ROG Swift monitor. Everything about the monitor shows that ASUS knows what they're doing when it comes to high-end gaming displays. However, hedging against that positivity, the question still remains for me. How many people need 180 Hz over 144 Hz? Like seriously, please, all of my personal lack of ability to tell the difference aside, if you can discern a noticeable difference between the two, please comment down below, because I haven't met a single person yet who actually can. But I'm not saying that anyone can't, I'm just not sure that there's a large enough percentage of the population that would make super high refresh rates something that display manufacturers should focus on over other aspects of improving the display quality. I would much rather have a 144 Hz panel with IPS rather than the ability to overclock. That's me. Again, that's not to say the PG248Q shouldn't exist. It's definitely a fantastic display with respectable world-class specifications, and it's one of the best displays out on the market right now, with G-Sync thrown in for good measure. Gaming on this was an absolute dream. But just make sure you're actually going to utilize the display to its fullest extent, whether it be with the GPU that you have or how well your eyes can discern higher frame rates. If you absolutely know that you need a monitor that can put out more than 144 Hz at 1080p, look no further than the PG248Q. It's the best solution for you out on the market right now. And with that conclusion, I'd like to again thank ASUS South Africa for sending this monitor over for review. Like this video if you found it helpful at all. Dislike it if you disagree with me or my conclusions or my harping on the higher than 144 Hz refresh rate. I completely understand. Subscribe to stay up to date on all of my tech related content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.